Hey, we are two Star Wars nerds, and we are going to be talking about Padme Amidala in Revenge of the Sith. So if you guys didn't know, when we hit 5,000 subscribers on this channel, we're doing another giveaway. And right here, I want to show you some really cool Star Wars pins from our friends at Sword and Whetstone. They have these really cool, creative, custom pins, and they were so gracious to donate 4 of these and a really cool sticker that we're going to be giving away. So, you know what, we're probably just going to give each one of these away individually, share the love. These are great pins, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be in the loop for when we give these pins away. So first off, can't believe it. In our last video about Padme and Attack of the Clones, we forgot 2 super important things, both relevant. First, the fact that she gets married to Anakin. Here's my long hand again. But that's an important fact. But nonetheless, I think the second important fact that we missed is her reaction to Anakin saying that he killed the entire village of Tusken Raiders, because that plays directly into how she responds to news about him killing the younglings in this movie, Revenge of the Sith. But anyway, those are obviously incredibly important, and we're gonna touch on those as we go. But why don't you start us off with why Padme's awesome in Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, we don't see Padme a lot in Revenge of the Sith, and we are talking about it. Obviously, it's because she's pregnant and she's not supposed to be. So it's hard to cover that up, so you can't really be out in public with a large bump. So I think that's why she spends a lot of time in her apartment, and it seems like she's really actually enjoying herself, though, in her apartment. She's used to always being out and about and doing wild, crazy things and on adventures, but you get to see a different side of her where it's almost like she's nesting and she's preparing and she's getting excited to welcome a child and a new chapter of her life with Anakin. So you get to see kind of another side of her, but still such a powerful side of her. Like mothering is such a beautiful thing, and just to see her prepare for that. And then, you know, obviously she doesn't really get to meet them, which
super sad,
breaks my heart. But I love her in all of the movies, but I think it's her part in this movie is very important too. Just like you were talking about, her reaction with the younglings, and even when Obi-Wan comes and when he's trying to find Anakin, you know, he's known all along. I think he's just now verbally asking and wanting that confirmation when he asks if it's Anakin's, and he knew the truth. But just seeing her heartbreak, and I think it was just so hard for her because she loves Anakin, but he's doing everything that she's against, and so there's this tension, and that's why it's so hard for her. But just to see what she goes through, and I don't like the ending of her just dying of a broken heart. I mean, broken hearts are hard to go through, but just seeing who she is throughout the rest of the movies, you see this strong, independent woman who isn't always reliant on a man. But love is powerful, so I get it. But I like the theory of the Palpatine.
Yeah.
You talk more about that.
Yeah, I mean, we can just jump there. I'm sure if you're watching a video specifically on Padme and Revenge of the Sith, you probably know about this already. But, you know, the whole thing with, what is the Japor snippet, I think is what it's called. But what the necklace that Anakin gives Padme, you know, in Phantom Menace, that she wears all the time, and that, you know, she has on her, I guess, on her deathbed, on her her funeral. There's this theory, you know, that Palpatine essentially was the one giving Anakin the nightmares about her dying, and even used like Sith magic essentially on that necklace to then be able to draw her life force and to put her life force into Anakin and to keep him alive as Darth Vader. And so
twisted.
At the end, when he's like, you know, it was in your anger you killed her, it's like, no, it's literally like to keep you alive, she had to die. And it was all through that necklace and charm. And it just points to, and there's other people who do this way more justice in talking about it, but I think it's a very satisfying ending. Not that it's not a Hallmark movie, it's not all happy-go-lucky,
right?
But you're right in the fact that in the Phantom Menace, she's a queen. She's doing all sorts of crazy things to save her people and bringing reconciliation of people groups, fighting back against the Separatists and the Trade Federation, all of this. And then in Attack of the Clones, she kind of plunges a little further into that, but she has to go into hiding. But now she chooses to go into hiding, but it's kind of different. She's like transitioning to like a normal life. And I think she's really
trying to.
Yeah, and I think she's really excited for that, just to live completely differently. But I think it is really important to bring up what we missed in Attack of the Clones, because the way she responds in Attack of the Clones to Anakin killing the Tuskens, it's essentially, she doesn't dismiss it, and she doesn't like say like it's okay, but she just focuses on her love for Anakin, and she wants to comfort him. And I think she's like, oh dang, like my lover just slaughtered all these people, and she had yet to say that she loves him, but I think internally she already knows that, and she's just like, oh my gosh, what am I getting into? But I can't shake this feeling.
Right.
So then when it comes back to Obi-Wan telling her, she's just like this realization of like, he's actually like a really bad dude, but she still has this thought of like, I can save him. And I think that's reflected in Leia and Luke. It's this idea is I can turn him. And then you get the whole scene on Mustafar, where he's angry at her, yelling, and she's just like, you're breaking my heart, like, who are you? It's like,
because that's not the person she loves.
Yeah, and she's seen a totally different side of him, amplified.
Right.
Like young Annie
he's gone.
Yeah, he's in all essence dead, and it's dark side. Anakin, Lord Vader, coming out, and and then when he force chokes her and stuff, it's just crazy. It's just so crazy that she met him when he was little on a inconsequential mission, to save her people, nothing to do with him. And then the romance that develops, all that they've been through, starting a family, all this, and then he it flips, and to protect her, he wants power and control and all of this. And so it's so wild that she's just thrown into the middle of it. She really has a tragic story. Yeah, totally insane. But you were joking about this. Maybe we should do a Leia in Revenge of the Sith video.
It'll be 2 seconds.
Yeah, she's born. That's it. But yeah, overall, what do we really know? But what's your general feel of Padme? Do you think she's like underrated? Do you think people should focus more on her? Do you think like the reception's actually really good with her? Like, what do you think?
I don't think she necessarily has a bad reception, but I think she is underrated, and she's a pinnacle part of even the Star Wars that came out in the 70s. Like, we wouldn't have Luke and Obviously, George, I don't know that he knew it was Padme and all these details about her, but it's the mom. So she's obviously a very important character. So yeah, I think she's underrated, and she's mostly looked at as like, oh, the romance. And so then I think that's what kind of people push her away. But I've never really heard anyone say she's a bad character. It's just, I think the romance, for whatever reason, throws some people off. But she's so much more than Anakin's lover. Like, she's a queen, a senator, she's becoming a mother. She's a wife. She's all these things. And at the same time, she's still a warrior. She's a diplomat. Diplomat. How do you say that word?
Diplomat.
Whatever, I can't talk. But she's all these things, and I feel like people limit her to romance, and that's
for sure.
That's not what she is. She's so much more.
Well, and it's Natalie Portman too. I mean, it's kind of almost reflective of Natalie Portman. I mean, she's incredibly smart. She has like ridiculous degrees. You know,
Yeah.
she's creative. I mean, she can rap. You
She's
remember
talented.
that? You
I
know?
do remember that.
She's a very versatile
Lonely
actress.
Island.
So yeah, I mean, it's I think Natalie Portman shines, you know, as Padme, but I think the character of Padme, I can't separate Padme and Natalie Portman. They're like the same to me, but I think Padme is like an amazing character nonetheless.
Yeah.
But hey, let us know your thoughts on Padme in Revenge of the Sith. Maybe more specifically too about that theory. You know, that's a very fascinating theory. There's so much better videos about it. Go check those out too.
Yeah.
But with that, we're two Star Wars nerds, and may the Force be with you always.